Hey guys, welcome back to Inside Tennis Tour Stroke Series. My name is Rick Oldroyd. I'm the president and founder of Inside Tennis. I'm also the head pro. Today we want to talk about the two-handed backhand, and I want to give you 5 key points or 5 key steps, if you will, to building a tour level two-handed backhand. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm a big believer that less is more, that if you reduce the variables, consistency has to be affected and consequently must go up. There's less things to go wrong, if you will. And so I like to keep things simple, and so we've broken this down into 5 key points that all the best two-handers in the world have, and hopefully this is going to be very simple for you to emulate and to go out and practice on the court, and hopefully improve your two-handed backhand. Now, first and foremost, we want to have a quick look at the grip. Okay, now there's different variations of grips out there as far as the left hand goes, but most players, for right-handed players, have a continental grip on the right with the right hand, which is also called the handshake grip. Now the second hand, or the left hand, is usually in a semi-western grip on the racket like this. So it's going to look like that from the front, okay, and it's going to look like that from the side. Now the semi-western grip is pretty simple to find if you just rotate your hand not underneath the racket but about 3/4, so your index knuckle is on this bevel right here. Most people know what a semi-western grip is, so we're going to go ahead and use the semi-western on your left hand and the continental grip on your right hand. Okay, so now that we've talked about the grip, the first step in a good two-handed backhand is a good ready position, okay, or preparation, good ready position. So I'm waiting with a forehand grip on my right hand and a semi-western grip on my left hand, and I'm in a good stance here, good athletic stance, nice knee bend, balanced over my legs, as you can see here, good wide stance. Now when the ball comes and I know that it's a backhand, all I'm going to do is rotate the grip with my left hand and rotate my right hand up to a continental grip. So really simple. As soon as I see it's a backhand, I'm rotating my grip just like that. So it's a very simple little move right there up to the continental grip. My left hand stays right where it was. Now the first phase then is the preparation phase, or a good ready position. That's step number 1. Step number 2, good hip and shoulder rotation. Notice that I'm taking the racket back with my body. My hands and arms are not doing anything at all. Once I've rotated the grip and have the proper grip, I'm just rotating my hips and shoulders back and taking the racket back with my body. That gives me a really good shoulder turn. Notice also that the racket is above my hands, not down here. There are a few players that take it straight back, but most of the great two-handed backhands have this position right here. Okay, so we want the racket up, and let me show you from the side so you can see that. So here's the hip and shoulder rotation. As I take the racket back, I'm taking the racket back with my body, okay, and I'm looking right over my right shoulder here. All right, now from this position, this is the second position. The third position is what we call the racket drop and release. So as I'm going to step into, and I'm going to make sure I'm in position here, hip and shoulder rotation, taking the racket back with my body, not my hands and arms, right? So good ready position, hip and shoulder rotation, and then as I step into the ball, this happens as one movement. The racket drop and release. There's no separation. So I'm going to time my step into the ball so that my racket will continue to travel back, drops into position here, and then releases back to impact. making contact out in front. So let's do that again. So hip and shoulder rotation, the racket drops in position and releases all in one motion. So there is a rotation back to impact. That's the release that we're talking about. Then extension out to my target is step number 4. Extension, and then finish up over my right shoulder here is the last step, step number 5. So let's go back through those quickly and then I'll demonstrate them again. So step number 1 is a good ready position. Step number 2, good trunk or hip and shoulder rotation, however you like to think about it. And the key element there is taking the racket back with your body, not your hands and your arms. So it looks like this. I rotate my hips and shoulders back and I take the racket back with my body, not my hands and my arms. The third step is the racket drop and release. So racket drop and release back to impact. I release my hands, they rotate back to impact to make sure that I square the racket back up. Make sure that that's in the frame here. And then once I make connection with the ball, I want a good extension out to my target. So I'm extending out to my target, allow my arms to travel out towards my target, and then release up here over my right shoulder, which is the finish, and that's step number 5. Those are the 5 key points that, in my opinion, must be in place to have a good two-handed backhand. If you keep it really, really simple, just to those 5 key points, and you do nothing more than that, you're going to have a very, very solid two-handed backhand that will be a repeating swing. There's not much that can go wrong with that stroke if you use those 5 key elements, and you're going to be very, very consistent. You're going to have a heavy ball and you're going to be a much, much better player. So once again, in summary, good ready position, hip and shoulder rotation, take the racket back with my body, racket drop. Let me step back here so you make sure that it's in the frame. Hip and shoulder rotation, racket drop as I'm stepping in as one piece, release back to impact, and extension out through the ball, and finish. And obviously your left foot comes around on some of your shots, most of them, to make sure that you have that good core and trunk rotation and you finish everything. So those are the 5 key elements. The next time that you're out there on the court, practice these. Good ready position, good hip and shoulder rotation, taking the racket back with your body is step number 2. Step number 3 is the racket drop and release back to impact. Step number 4, extension. And step number 5 is a good finish up over your right shoulder for right-handed players. Hopefully that's going to be helpful for you the next time you're out there. Practice those key elements. Review this video often, and you're going to have a much, much better two-handed backhand. You're going to be on your way to playing better tennis. If you like this video, please click the link below and subscribe to our channel, Insight Tennis. Also visit the website at insighttennis.com. Leave any comments or questions below as well. We love to hear your comments and questions. And I want to bring attention to a section of the website, the video analysis section. You have an opportunity right now to take some video of yourself and send those videos in. If you have a part of your game that you're just feel like you just can't get any better, you've kind of hit a plateau, so to speak, and for whatever reason, I mean, you've taken lessons and you just can't seem to improve. In my over 20 years of experience in teaching this game, I have found that more often than not, when someone has hit a plateau and a player just can't seem to get any better, it's almost always related to biomechanics. Almost always related to improper technique or improper application of that technique. And so if we can take a look at those biomechanics for you and help you to kind of have a deeper and a better understanding of the correct techniques and biomechanics, it's going to make a huge difference in your game. We'd love to help you out with that, so send in your videos. Please like the video if you like the video. Visit the website at insighttennis.com. And as always, thank you for your time, and we'll see you out there on the court.